by the end of the day. So please forgive me. It's relatively recent, the change, and I'm still getting used to talking about it. All right, so like I said, thank you all for coming today. I just want to get started, and also I'm going to go over this in my slides, but we want to make sure to thank, for those of you that signed up prior to coming, there is a lunch that is catered. It looks like there's some drinks also over here of some sort, and I think there's like breakfasty snacks over there. And there's the candy bucket or candy jar back there too. So lots of ways to make sure your blood sugar doesn't drop, or whatever you need to do. All right, I want to thank, and I'll do this again periodically throughout the day as well because it's really important, it helps a lot. But I want to thank E4 Strategies for lunch. They sponsored lunch. That helps us a lot. It helps us from having to go and wander off site or go somewhere else to potentially have a lot longer lunch and get further apart and make better use of the time we have today. Also of note is we are ending today at 3 o'clock. That is atypical, and hopefully we will not repeat that in up and coming years. But today we have some conflicting obligations. There's like a panel today that I have to go to, and there's some other things that are going on as well. So we'll formally end DevCon early, although people want to stay and hang out. I'm guessing that Julie's not going to have a problem with that. But what's that, Eric? All right, pictures. So the question is, when should we do picture, Eric? Let's do it at lunchtime, because maybe some people are still sleeping right now. I want to make sure there's a reasonable amount of people that were signed up that are here. But we'll wait till lunchtime as the hall fills up. I think that's what we did last year, right, Eric? Do you have all the equipment for that? Or equipment enough for it? Okay, thanks. All right, I think that's it for now. Lunch is.
I've got a couple of announcements.
Okay, lunch is in the National Ballroom B from 12 to 1. So I guess collectively we're gonna have to go find that. I think it's across the way. David Duffett says it's across the way. So we'll follow David when we're finding it. Thanks, David. Yep. Let's see, George, did you have something you wanted to?
Yeah, two things. First, we do have a speakerphone here for the benefit of the folks on the call. If you could speak up and project, it's probably not going to be a problem given the size of the room, but just there's a speakerphone right there. The second one is there is a wireless network called AstriDevCon that may be more reliable than AstriCon. It's sitting right here, and you should get pretty good throughput through that if you want to use that instead of AstriCon.
What's the cost of it?
It's the same, capital D, Digium 18. Digium 18 with a capital D.
Digium 18.
You can only get that in this room-ish area, right?
Well, you can get it as far as this thing will reach, and it's fairly high power, so it'll probably get a good reach.
Yep. I also want to thank Tori, who's going to be taking notes today. That is a odious task, and I'm grateful that you were willing to do that, Tori. Thank also George and others that are setting up streaming, and others for those who remotely cannot or who cannot locally attend here on site. I always have to remind myself. I continually try to remind myself that the development of Asterisk is always bigger. You can always count it is always bigger than any crowd in one room. And that is especially true, I think, for our environment too as well. All right, other than that, I think that's it. Is there anything I forgot or any other announcements that need to be made? All right, cool, silence is good. All right, with that, I think it's appropriate to go around the room and to introduce ourselves. What I'd like you to do is state your name, state where you're from, state what company you're with, and what you would like to get out of AstriDevCon this year. And I'll start. My name is Matthew Fredrickson. I am from Huntsville, Alabama, and I am, let's see, name, company. You never get more than 3 questions, right? That's the, all right, 4 questions. All right, so I'm with Sangoma. I said it right, that's on here. And what I hope to get out of DevCon is I hope to get some really good feedback. I hope to hear about what people are doing, with Asterisk this year, what direction some of the user base and development base is heading in, and to utilize that information to help push the project forward in the direction that coincides with where everybody wants to go. That's it for me. Let's start with Tori.
All right, I'm Tori Searle. I live in Brussels, Belgium. I work for a company called Voxbone for semiconductors. We're currently in the process. We're still in the process of trying to get Asterisk 13 stable and production ready, unfortunately. And I just want to just keep up to date with the evolution of Asterisk and see how it more in line with Voxbone's needs.
My name is Calvin Davenport.
Stand up. Sorry, I should have to stand up.
You just stand up.
Yeah, I know. I should have done that.
Yeah, my name is Davenport. I'm of a company. I am here for the free candidates to hear you.
I like that. There's no shame in that.
Jared Smith. I'm in Northern Virginia. I'm staying out of my man.
Nice. Okay.
I'm Phil Poppy. I work for Jive and Lamian with the results. I'm from Montreal, Canada, and I'm interested in some technical and architecture topic.
Can I interrupt for 1 second, please? Folks, if you're on the phone, could you please mute your phone? We're getting reports of echoes, and unless you actually need to talk, it's better that you have your phone muted. Thank you. Sorry.
Hi, my name is Johannes. I'm from Düsseldorf, Germany. I work for CKH, for Germany. And currently we are building finally for the production on Asterisk 16 with AI, so I have interest in how we get forward with this AI stuff. My name is David Duffett from Oxford in the UK. I work for DGM, the same Dover company, and I'm doing mainly an observation. I'm Fred Posner. I'm from Gainesville, Florida. I work with LED communication, and always interested in the future of Asterisk roadmap for the.
Hello, I'm guys. I'm working for Alcalá, on Bedroom, and especially very hard. My name is Pascal. I work for
Can you spell your last name?
CHO.
Tori, are you taking attendance or whatever?
I'm right there, but as much as I can.
Thanks, Tori. That's above me on Call of Duty. I appreciate that. All right, keep going.
And I'm just recording the
It was recommended that we pass the microphone around, which I think is a great idea. Sorry, guys. I don't test.
Hello, my name is Sylvain Boilly. I'm from Quebec in Canada.
Can you spell your last name?
B-O-I-L-Y.
B-O-I-L-Y.
Yeah. I work for Oiseau, and I hope the next AstriDevCon will be in Canada. and I'm interested about the future of Asterisk.
There's a higher likelihood of that happening now, since we're now owned by a Canadian company.
Hello, my name is Igor Goncharovsky. I'm from Russia. And I work for several companies. In Russia, it's this company IQTech. I'm personally a Unistem channel developer, supporter, and I'm here to discuss about future media improvements that maybe have a place in future Asterisk versions.
Unison?
Yes.
He uses it?
Yeah, proud of you. Two labels in the world.
I'm Nir. I'm from Israel, with Cloudonics. We are a uncarrier, so to speak. We need to, if anybody wants to know what that is. I used to do code. I hadn't touched a piece of code in almost 18 months, which is weird. So I'm here mostly for fun and to get around with all the gang every year. What's it called? June. So.
Eric Klein, also with Cloudonics. Everybody come to Dangerous Demos we're sponsoring this year. Also out of Israel, Netanya. And if you have more questions, I'm here to basically keep them from going through withdrawal symptoms.
Hi, I'm Lorenzo Filippi. I'm from Switzerland. I work with Lowley, and my main point is I understand what is the future of pastors care, and especially in particular for center staff. That's what we do.
Sean McCord, Psycore Systems. I'm from Atlanta. I have no idea why I'm here. The future of pastors. Giving, receiving.
Oh, you're just saying that, avoiding the very.
Hi everyone, I'm Dan Jenkins from Nimble Lake Limited in the UK. I'm here to be quiet this year.
Don't do that.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Don't do that, Dan.
I've still got a demo to write. Shh.
Andrew Nagy, Southern California. I work for Sangoma and just want to see where Asterisk is headed and how we can all work together here.
James Fenstrom. I write bugs for Free PBX. Obviously here to learn the future, get my free lunch. Yes. Oh, I'm from the Phoenix area in Arizona.
Brian Walters, I work for Sangoma. I'm out of Buffalo, New York. And I'll echo kind of the same reason that James and Andrew are here, just going to future Asterisk and I work together.
I'm Jason Parker, live in Atlanta with Sangoma. I basically board phones for Sangoma storage office, but I'm here to sort of help steer direction.
I'm Dan Collins. I'm out of Knoxville. I work for a company called USAN out of Atlanta. I'm here to learn about the future project.
Hi, so I'm Paulo Santini. I'm from Brazil, and now I'm living in Brussels, and I work for Voxbone with Charlie, and basically I help him to roll out Asterisk 13 on Voxbone network.
Hi, I'm Steve Murphy. I'm with Next Vortex. I am from Wyoming. I'm trying to remember all of the list.
Yeah, I have 4 questions, 2 minutes, yeah.
I'm from Northwest Wyoming, and the reason I'm here is about everything everybody else has already said, which is more than I wish to recount at the moment. Anyway.
Hi, Peter Veshko from Secaucus, New Jersey. Here from WESCHKE. Here to see where AI and call center technologies, because that's still where I'm still working.
I'm Harrison Schultz. I'm here with Corano out of Indianapolis. And I'm here just to see what I can learn about Asterisk, and I'm here to meet everybody. So.
John Harden, Toronto, Indianapolis, here for the 2018-2019 roadmap. See what's coming along.
John Harden, was it?
Harden, yeah, Harden.
Alex Goodman, Toronto, Indianapolis as well, and also is here to learn, see what's going on with the new version of Asterisk.
Alex?
Good man.
Good man.
Yep.
I'm Ben Ford. I'm a software developer for Digi and Sangoma, and I've been working on Asterisk for about a year and a half now.
My name is Kevin Harwell. Let's see, I'm from Alabama in the United States. Let's see, what's the next? I work at Digium, the Sangoma company, and I'm here just much like Matt said, to get feedback and also to give a presentation here in a little while.
Hi, my name is Alexander Trout. I'm from Frankfurt, Germany, and I'm unemployed, self-researcher or something like that. I'm on my own, so I don't regret it. So, I joined Asterisk quite recently, 6 years ago, so I contributing since then all the stuff, fixing bugs, introducing new bugs, and fixing other bugs. So I'm keen to learn all the people in person, which I thought and discussed and talked to in the last 6 years.
I'm George Joseph from Golden, Colorado. I work for Digi and Sangoma, and I'm an Asterisk developer. Back to Ben.
Thank you. Thank you all for introducing yourselves. All right, so as this day typically works, we do some morning introductions and things like that. I'll give a presentation. After my presentation, we will plan our day. So the joke is, for those of you that are waiting to see where the future of Asterisk is going, that is all up to you. That's what this room is about, is discussions of where individuals, as an open source project, it is composed of the intents of lots of individuals and organizations. So you'll probably hear about some other companies and their directions that they would like to take Asterisk in. But ultimately, whatever direction you'd like to see Asterisk going is within your power and is up to you as well. All right, so what I'll do is I'm going to give my presentation this morning that talks a little bit about what's happened this last year with Asterisk, and then we will build our agenda for our day. All right, so hopefully most of you may know me by now. I won't go through a long introduction or anything like that. As before, I want to make sure I'm doing a really good job of thanking our sponsor, because we don't have like a big sponsor logo in here or anything like that. But like I said, the lunch is very important. It makes a big difference in terms of the continuity and the ability of us to stay together for the time that we have. So thank you again for E4 Strategies for doing that. Let's talk about this last year. What's happened? In Asterisk 15.x land, for that branch, we've had 6 bug fix releases. Current release is 15.6.1. In the land of Asterisk 14, we've had 8 security releases, because this last year, the 14 branch has been in security release only mode. And it is actually dead. It was recently end of life. So it's even out of security fix only mode. So if you're in 14, it's good time to get moving forward to either 15 or something newer. Asterisk 13.x also had 6 major 6 bug fix releases. In the current is 13.23.1. Within the last year on Garrett, we had approximately 3,300 merged code reviews. 3,300.
So is that counting a feature that's been on multiple branches multiple times?
Pardon me?
If a feature's been on multiple branches, is that counting for each branch?
It does count all the branches, so there is a little bit of redundancy there, but 3,300 I think is still a big number. I think it's very representative that the project continues to grow in terms of the active development base and the momentum it has. And it's pretty awe-inspiring to be involved with a project of that scale. And I know it is due to many of you and many of your hard work that there's that much work and effort on that. With that, 3,300 code reviews. That is a lot of eyeballs looking at code. So if you have any development interests and you don't currently participate at a code review level, that would be very much appreciated, because sometimes there are good code reviews that are sitting up on Garrett that sit up there for a very long time because nobody has time to, or desire, or whatever, it's not within their interests or whatnot, to review some code reviews. And so I would encourage any of you that are not active code reviewers to try to start doing that. Set a personal goal or try to help the project by being active in the code review process. Let's see. So yeah, let's roll the drums a little bit here. Astra 16 has been released. Well, wait, let me switch off. It is being released. We're having a few little technical difficulties this morning. Kevin, did you guys have anything to say about that? Okay, yeah. So we're having some technical difficulties this morning, but hopefully soon, sometime today, I hope.
I think the tarballs are.
Cool, tarballs are up. So I'm going to say it's been released. I think that
just haven't gone out. They're working.
Cool. All right, yeah, 16 has been released. It's been in a feature freeze process for the past few months. Hopefully many of you have tested it and have submitted feedback and things like that, because now it's live and people think it's real. So if you haven't tested it and you find problems, then patches welcome, I guess. I mean, patches are always welcome, but yeah, you know how it goes. Like this open source project, we all have a responsibility to help test things and make it better. And so at this point, there was a window that was given, now it's released. Within it, I counted about 1,000 commits. So this is just to the master, what became 16 branch. That's close to 3 per day. That's not inconsiderable, and is more than we had last year. And that was composed of 72 different contributors, which is also considerable. And here's a big list. I always try to give a big contributor. This is not all 72, but I just get as many as I can fit in a slide and stick it on there. There were some big name contributors here. A lot of people that are very regular contributors, and there are some people that had, some of their own contributions and things like that as well. But we're grateful for any and all contributions to the project moving forward. Let's see. I want to talk for a few minutes about something that is probably near and dear to many of your hearts. Something happened last year. We did something that broke convention. People were a little bit angry. Some things were spoken. Hard feelings were felt for probably about a year now. And I want to talk about that topic. So in Asterisk land, we have 2 categories of releases. One is the standard release, and the other is the magical 3-letter acronym LTS. Now, what does LTS mean? I have in my brain some things that when I associate other projects with that 3-letter acronym. And it usually means comfort and goodness and lots of other intangible things. And so for our project as well, I think a lot of people also feel those things. And I think that's appropriate. We decided in an abundance of caution, due to lots of changes that we made at the core of Asterisk last year for Asterisk 15, particularly the multi-stream changes, to make it not an LTS, which just utterly broke our convention in terms of typically odd major releases. So the odd numbers, 11, 13, and what would have been 15 would have been LTS. But we decided to wait for release. I don't think that it was inappropriate to do so upon retrospect. We didn't know what was up and coming, and we wanted to make sure that those changes had some more field time before they went into what a release that would have been an LTS, a long-term support release. But on the other hand, the changes have been surprisingly stable, which I've been really grateful for. They were done in a way that was backwards compatible with most of the core. We didn't have to can most of the channel drivers and applications due to internal compatibility changes. We were able to do it in a way that maintained compatibility with existing programming interfaces. And so, we still have a lot of the outline applications and channel drivers that you know and love and things like that. But I want to go a little bit more into what is an LTS and a standard release in Astra. The standard release has a year of bug fixes, followed by a year of additional year of security fixes. And that's a pretty normal release. And 12.x, 14.x, and now 15.x are good examples of that. LTS, so for us, that means 4 years of bug fixes, 1 additional year of security fixes, and some examples of that are 11, 13, and what I want to talk about today. Additionally, as all of you know in here, we have a new branch inclusion policy so that releases within a branch can contain new features. If you provide tests with any changes that you submit to a release branch, you can have and it isn't a major architectural change. So we do exercise a little bit of judgment in terms of those changes. And if it's a major architectural change, it's going to break lots of internal APIs and things like that. We sometimes will punt a particular change set to master, or we'll kick it to master and not allow it to be in release branch. But generally, for non-major breaking changes, or changes that are not major nor breaking, there, I think I said that right. We allow them to be merged into the branch as long as they're accompanied by test suite tests. And I think that's made a big difference. That's allowed us to do a lot of really neat things with some of these branches, particularly 13. 13 has been a really awesome example of the power of that, that approach. Additionally, it also makes all the other branches a lot better too, because those test suite changes get applied to any new branches and any existing branches that support that change as well. And so on the whole, it makes all branches more stable. So I talked about this already, so I don't think I'm going to go over that again. It has been a few years since the last LTS. And so 16 is going to be an LTS. And I know many of you probably were hoping for that. There have been changes that were mentioned that people liked in 14, that they're hoping to get them in 15 as an LTS. Now you get them in 16 as an LTS. I know that's a version later. 15 is going to be around for another year in bug fix mode, because it recently went to bug fix mode, or bug fix only mode. And so, but 16. Sorry, yes. Thank you, Tori. It's security fix. I said the wrong one. There are too many different modes for branches. Security fix. Yeah. And so it should be around for at least 4 years. Hopefully it will not stick around like 13 has for, I mean, for better or worse, 13 has had an extended LTS cycle due to various decisions that were made about the branch itself. But theoretically, it'll be around until 2022 in bug fix mode, and it'll be around until 2023 in security fix mode. I want to talk about Astra 16, what's happened, what's new. I have a few different categories. If you imagine we're playing Jeopardy, this is our category tree. First one is WebRTC video quality improvements. The second one is WebRTC API additions. The third one is improving performance in Chan PJSF. Thanks, Jared. I was hoping somebody, man, nobody's like, give me any feedback here. It's really quiet here. If you're excited about something, feel free to cheer. And then the last one I labeled as miscellaneous fun. And miscellaneous fun is not reflecting on any of the things I talked about there being trivial or unimportant. In my role, I get to editorialize. I get to go through the change logs and the commits and things like that. And I get some leeway and I get to editorialize. Somehow I have to turn 1,000 different commit lines into something that doesn't take all day to talk about. So I get to be selective about what I talk about. And so I'll pull things here, from here, or there, and try to talk about some of the things. But by no means, it isn't complete and reflective of the complete set of contributions from everybody that contribute to it. Or it's by no means a statement saying that one contribution is more important than another. Anyway, all right, let's proceed forward. So Astra 16, there are some areas we felt that we needed to work on with regards to video resilience. You know, we talked a little bit about this last year. Video is very sensitive to packet loss, a lot more sensitive than audio. It seems like it's a lot more tolerable for people from a human experience to hear little blips of audio and it be mostly understandable. Although it is a little bit frustrating, it is definitely not a deal breaker in terms of experience and things like that. But whereas with video, the loss of a single video frame can make a really big difference in terms of experience. People freeze up. People start having fun things happen with the video. You lose touch of them until some indeterminate point in the future in terms of the activity of the video and things like that. So in Astra 15, we took kind of sledgehammer approach. If we detected packet loss within some, obviously there's a little bit of smarts around this, but essentially if we detected packet loss of any sort we requested a full new video frame, which for those of you that aren't familiar with video codecs, that means sending an entire video frame's worth of essentially uncompressed or largely uncompressed video across the stream. It takes a lot of bandwidth. It's kind of wasteful, things like that. And so we knew that there were some better technologies for doing this, but at the time we didn't have time to approach them or to be able to utilize them. So what we did is we started working on some of those new technologies to not have to do that really brute force method. One is called NAC. It is an RTCP feedback message. For those of you, who is familiar with RTCP? Raise your hand if you're familiar with RTCP. So maybe half the room that are willing to admit it. And if you're willing to admit it, you know, if you're not willing to admit it, like there's no shame, like it's you know, this is the same place, right? We all, a lot of us, you know, I'm not afraid to admit I know about RTCP a little bit, but I won't admit it outside this room.